You're just going right from the start to zero. Yeah, so everything, so those both push back to whatever's in.
I think they're on B.
Looks like it. Yep. Double check.
99.
Conto? 90.
97. Get that out?
99.
Okay.
Where did that go?
I'm gonna try if it was going to the 12. Yeah, it's broke.
95, Islanda. Islanda la scopa. Sembra no. Alla fine non è solo.
Di corto?
95.
Simile, come prima allora. Sì, sì, ok.
14 e 2.
Ok. Ten and a half out. Yeah.
Buona 4 e 10. 4. Sembra già 5.
Mia buona.
Meno 4. 14 e 8.
Ok.
Sei buona di lì.
Sì. Però 14 e 8. Viaggia più interno-esterno che esterno-interno. Non so. 8?
14 e 80.
Four, yeah, it's mine. Pretty
Yeah,
slidey.
two-line
Yeah.
even, yeah.
Back 4 maybe.
Started off.
Yeah, 13-8. 13-8. Throw. This one. 13-7.
Simile. Finita di più? No.
Ok.
Dovrebbe viaggiare un po' di più questa. Sì. Ce l'ho, è lungo ce l'ho.
Sì. Ok, è sfazzata.
Quanto simile?
Sì. Beh, che con i miei non è un po'
Sì.
Okay. I think we're all there now, but yeah.
T back 4?
Yeah.
Back 8? That's the hog line itself.
Nice
You can make a
turn
turn.
off, but
Yeah.
maybe for the okay. 13-3.
It's like hog line in it really starts to move.
12-9.
Buona!
Ok, sembra già.
Sì. Line, linea buona. 8. Volati. Volati. Linea fedele.
Okay.
Prova Ele. Poi 13-6.
Sì, anche ho preso sì. 0,5
13-6. Ok. Avevi sentito che vuole il suo lungo?
Sì, sì.
Ok.
L'ho detto adesso.
Pretty similar to the other one.
Anche io così.
13 e 6. Qua.
Running a little bit.
Same
on
line.
4. Running a bit.
Back 4.
In here better.
13. 13-3.
Getting better. Back 4. Back 8. Same line, yeah. The same line. That's good.
Buona. Usa linea.
Più esterna?
Va più esterna. 8, 9, 8.
Molto dritta.
9, 10. 13 e mezzo. 13 e mezzo. Giocata. Giocata.
13 e 40.
8? 8?
Sì.
A little late, I thought. 14.4. That's so nice.
You can drag them, you don't have to dump all over them.
Yeah, no kidding.
There, now I've had my comments, I'm good.
Well, but hey.
I said, yeah, you can drag them, you don't have to have your dump all over it.
Good.
They've all heard me now.
Is that a little light?
I think it'll be okay this time.
29.
Sì, però molto controllabile.
Here more?
Penso che si vedo
Little wider line.
sì.
Got a little more.
Era un po' più largo nella scopa.
Okay.
Adesso mi ha dato una scopa molto
Watching Stefania win the mixed doubles gold medal, and was super impressed. So I would expect nothing but great things. They qualified a couple times last year at the Grand Slams, so they've quickly become one of the best female teams in the world. And obviously, we know lots about Carrie Einarson in Canada. Been basically Team Canada for the last number of years until Rachel kind of stopped their streak last year. But should be a great match, and I don't know what to expect really from Italy. Carrie maybe leans a little more defensive, but I think the Italians are a pretty aggressive team. They did win the hammer, so they kind of get to dictate what happens in the first end.
We'll take a look at the lineups here for this feature matchup. For Team Einarson,
Time anymore with the kids at home and with Mike still playing like crazy, but still loves the game. So it's great to see Dawn out there. Shannon, I think, hurt her knee recently, so she's recovering. I don't think it's anything too serious from what I've heard, but
here's Julia Zardini Lacidelli playing the hit and stick. That rock that just slid into the top of the 12-foot with that opening shot. Stefania Constantini, the 2022 mixed doubles Olympic gold medalist. She'll get to defend that title as long as she is the team representing Italy, I would assume, Brent, in her hometown in Cortina, Italy. They'll build statues of her when she wins in her hometown.
Right? Yeah, I think they do have enough interest now. I think the two top teams, I think Team Returnaz and Team Constantini kind of mix and match, and I think they do have a play down, but I don't know, from what I saw at the last Olympics, I can't see anybody beating them. But I think they might not even play together anymore.
No, there was a different team at the World Championships this past season. That I know for sure. So never know what creates these moves or lineup switches. It certainly seems like an odd thing for the defending Olympic champions to split. Whether that sticks or not remains to be seen. But here on the women's side of things, their best finish, 2023, also in the Tour Challenge. So the event they're comfortable at.
Yes.
Nice run back in the first end. I guess she did get to see it on her first one, but seems like nothing. That first guard's overswept, slips into the rings, but then Italy gets to nose it and have a rock right in the control zone, right where you want to be. And so Team Einarson kind of chasing a bit early. And
here is Super Dawn McEwen. Intern draw starting things off. Hammering to try to get by, bounces off the center guard, spills in. Still touching the center though. So that rock will stay in play.
Yeah, nobody even looked at that. I wasn't even thinking about it. I still don't know the rules. That
is still on the center line, it appears, from the overhead view. So we'll move on Seconds. First for Italy, Angela Rome. Out turn hit, trying to roll underneath. They will control the front. Pretty straightforward call for Carey to try to lose both of these red stones.
I think she called. That's what I see too, but I think she's just nosing the outside one. Maybe trying to ease Dawn into the takeouts here.
But we can't have her making a double already, I guess. So just a nose hit here for Dawn.
We've got 4 sheets of women's action going on out here. They're going to test my vision on the far sheet. Looks like we've got Team Holman off to a hot start this season. Against Team Strauss from the U.S., young and up-and-comers that Tyler would know a lot about, I would expect. Got our featured sheet, and then we've got Team Caitlin Laws against Team Kim. And over here on sheet D, we've got Team Tiranzoni versus the youngsters from Scotland, Team Morrison. So 4 marquee matchups again.
Yeah, tough task for the young Strauss squad. Not their first slam. Actually, my sister coached that team the previous few seasons and went co-coach with her at Slam out in Big County last year. Got to spend some time with Team Strauss. So fun bunch of girls. A little bit of lineup switch for them going into the season as well.
My first thought was like the top.
Blockade of stones around the center line to start this off.
Carey was thinking of not hitting these, which I think is be pretty risky without the hammer. I think she found the right call here. It doesn't look like a great situation.
Whoa.
Lefty out turn.
No. Curl.
For Val, trying to double these reds off, maybe bump the yellow in the rings.
Curl. Good shot. Whoa.
Spills the yellow into the rings as well.
Stays buried, I think.
No, visto niente.
Fancy shot for the first 10 for Val. And Italy going to play the run back. No good come around because they're so close together. There's not really room to get around that. Trying the double, sounds like a make, and these teams are off to a hot start. A lot of good shots in the first end here. The Italian curling program growing by leaps and bounds in their success over the last handful of years, starting with Returnes. I mean, everybody says he's an overnight success. I mean, he played in the Olympics in 2006, so not exactly overnight.
Yeah, I played against him in the Worlds in 2010, and that was 4 years after that. So, Joel's, it's an interesting story with him. He's kind of, I mean, we would all say, like, in the competitive scene, was a bit of an also-ran for most of his career, and then all of a sudden, after all that time, changed gears, and he's been the #1 ranked team in the world for a good chunk of the last couple of years. So all credit to them, and whatever changes they made, obviously working well. We can't give Ryan Fry too much credit.
Oh, I wouldn't give him any credit myself. But that's just because I know him so well.
Yeah,
no, he's a great guy to bring even more confidence to that team. But yeah, Claudio Pesce did a great job with something. I mean, I don't know if they grew those twin towers, the sweepers, Amos and the fellas there, but obviously working hard and persistence pays off, as it always does for Joel. It's kind of cool to see, especially with the home Olympics coming up. Both of these teams, I think, will know that they're going. I don't think there are really other options for the men or the women. And both will be medal hopefuls, if not favorites, heading into those games.
You see Elena Mathis, the in-turn hit.
A mistake there. Didn't quite remove the one she was running back.
Yeah.
So a chance to force here for Einarson. Carey going to split the rings. Try not to leave a double.
CVT are better, I guess.
Yeah. Hey guys, T-line.
This will be a slower path. I mean, they did get practice.
Like a high 13 kind of thing.
High 13.
Okay,
High 13. I think that's. I wouldn't want to throw it any lighter than that. I don't think. It
Yeah,
did
the
have,
stagger would be the key here, just not to leave a double, as you said. So playing to get this behind the tee line, but still want to keep it enough in the 8-foot that a hit and roll underneath the corner wouldn't be shot rock.
I got all there.
Like it?
Here is the 4-time Scotties champion, Carrie Einarson.
Line's good. I think you gotta go a bit, guys.
Gotta go for tee.
Yep, close.
Gotta go.
Sweepers said they have to go for tee, so they'd really like to carry this as far as they can now.
should glide at the end as it gets out of the
Tee
better
doesn't look to
path.
be a problem at all.
Sorry, Carrie. 14.
Shoot.
Still just fine. That roll under corner won't be shot rock. Just perfect.
Not really any chance for 2 points here. Just trying to set up the easiest possible one for Team Italy. Stefania trying to hit and roll over in front. Make the takeout a little bit tricky for Carrie. Maybe force a rollout. Maybe get the blank. Carrie would basically have to fall down to give up 2 here, though, I think.
So Stefania Constantini, reigning Olympic mixed doubles champion, playing the outturn hit and roll.
See if she's changed her routine. She had a very deliberate and fairly time-consuming routine last year, and watching her a little bit.
Good clean release there from Stefania.
Pretty
Not
good
a lot of
technique.
moving parts there.
No.
Let's roll in for shot rock. Good opportunity now for Anderson, just with a hit and stick. Force most likely a draw against 2 unless they elect to hit the backstone.
Yeah, you wonder, just depending on how confident they are in the path. The draw to the button after practice takes place going the other way. So they, as much as they've been on the ice for their 6 or 7 minutes, you know, they get to throw 16 stones, but they're really focused on coming home for that draw of the button. This path has been sitting for probably 15 minutes. So if this rolls to Val's broom, as we were looking at it, I wouldn't be shocked to see Stefania take on the double.
Carey playing the out turn. Doesn't want to roll very far. Ends up just on the nose. Good result.
Should be no. Oh, she is going to hit the back one.
Fresh.
This is all ice related. We saw it in the game earlier. First draw for these teams,
Not
and
bad in the wing, eh?
first end a little unsure.
Yeah, 14 on that. Yeah, sounds really good.
But she has not much room to roll. Can't roll anything to the broom side, and can roll a foot or 2 inside. So has to be pretty precise here.
Thanks.
Not a particularly surprising call in the first end of action.
Tight.
Eliminating 1 stone no matter what. Nose hit's good. The final stone of this first end. Constantini playing the out-turn hit and stick. I'll have to work on my timing for the last shot with how long it does take you to get out of the hack, too. So jump the gun. Sweeper's just cleaning right now. They like it. Now trying to get it to curl late. That's perfect. So Stefania takes her 1. Good force from Einarson. After 1 end to play, Constantini leads 1-0. Second end of action here, our feature matchup. The Grand Slam Curling Tour Challenge. Stefania Constantini, forced to 1 in the first end. Carrie Einarson will have hammer in the second. Center guard was off the center line, just off the rings.
It'll be pretty slick. Yeah.
Mission accomplished for Einarson. Kind of not a slow start, but not a lot of opportunity for either side. But mission accomplished for Einarson, forcing Stefania and Team Constantini to 1 point. Now hoping to set up the corner guard and try and make a deuce of their own.
Should see some rocks in play this end as long as we have good execution. Maybe a little bit of a fresh path here. This rock really hitting the brakes.
Okay, Kristen.
We'll get it over, so might see 2 stacks on that side.
Yeah, anything behind that will be hittable, will be chaseable, so not super usable, but missed the call here, Tyler. Did they call the come around or double centers?
We'll see how hard she kicks out. Let's see if we can figure it out. Looks like a guard to me.
My Italian's pretty rusty, so I'm not going to be much help there. T-line, I know that one. So yeah, they're playing the come around. Good shot.
Well done. Might come out the other side a little bit. See if Carrie opts to chase, and she will. That rock is off the center line, so if they wreck and split it in, it won't be removed from play, so that may affect the decision as well.
Saw this shot missed light earlier today. Again, an in-between path early. So a tricky shot. Later in the game, this isn't super hard, but right now,
Clean. Little big. Clean.
a little big probably is a good thing.
Clean it. Yes. Yeah. Hard.
And there it turns over, just as you said. That new path.
Hard. Hard. Oh, it's coming down the hack. Roll it. Yep. Keep going down.
Definitely
well called.
heavy. See,
Good.
you can see that ended up just
Sorry,
kind of
Carrie,
back
not
line. They were calling heavy early, but
Yeah, that's been the consistent miss early in games, especially on the in-between paths. Narrow and or light.
these ladies have a tough act to follow for anybody that watched the last game. It was fireworks almost from the get-go. But it had a bit of a slow start, I guess, but not much opportunity for Einarson here for multiples. That corner guard is all but useless. And Italy hitting the live 3 here.
Yeah, not a strong steal opportunity, but well,
Never mind.
now it doesn't matter.
Carrie, like I said, with the deuce set up. Out of nowhere.
And another consistent miss that we've seen with
Out wide, yeah.
the hits being a little bit on the straight side and the outside of the sheet.
Should be good here, eh?
Certainly wasn't overthrown by any means.
I would entertain drawing around that corner now. I know it's not, it's not super useful, but to lie second and third, and
Yeah, that center guard or the center rock on the top of the button really isn't going anywhere. If you want to dare him to guard against a 3, that's perfectly fine.
Roll a bit. Okay, that's fine. 10-7.
Just rolls a little bit towards that number 2 counter. There's a double there. It's a little thin, but it's accessible.
Don, I think, wanted to roll the other way. A little light, maybe. Again, in between paths, speed comes off, curls in the first end. Second end. Went after this. This might be another silent hit, as they call it.
Boy, struggles early from Team Constantini in the hit game.
Italians forgetting rule number 1 of a takeout, Tyler. You got to take something out.
You gotta remove that rock first.
I like this call.
Tough end there for Rome.
This is a hair tighter than where they threw.
Yeah. Should be okay though, eh?
I think if you give us like a 15 for tight, that's really close.
This is where we see the pro teams, Brent, really capitalize with good rock placement, not setting up doubles or ways to get out of the end. Without a lot of guards in play, it's all about not leaving easy doubles at this point.
I like it.
We're really tight.
Line's
You're perfect.
Just
Stay on it through the break.
I'm gonna take away this double and put a rock that's very usable. I
Line's
don't
great.
Wait's good.
Yep. Finish it
think
here.
Italy can leave this. I think you'll see them run this
Perfect.
back.
Really
They
nice. Good
probably don't
shot.
have much choice. That's a really good spot there from Dawn. Don't be fooled by the names on the jerseys. We know who Dawn McEwen is. I know it says Burchard on the back. Wish Shannon a speedy recovery. I'm going to assume she's watched.
Oh, I would think so, but who knows? Shannon's got one of those records that will never be beaten. I think she's won more Scotties than she has provincials by a lot. She won a Scotties before she won a provincials, which is really hard to do in Canada, Tyler.
Yeah, I would imagine it is.
I don't know that anybody will ever do that again.
It's going to be tough.
She also, I think, lost her first Scotties maybe last year. I think she had won her first five.
I could kind of match that. I went to a Junior Worlds without winning Junior State.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Clean. 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 Yeah.
Switching gears now, gonna leave. They made that runner.
Good. I don't know.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah, good position here for Einarson. Awfully thin double to take on, so just hitting #1 counter. And worst case here, Brent, even if you know as you're stacking it to get that double a little bit thicker too.
Yes, at some point here there's going to be a double unless Val can make a really good hit and roll or carry on her first potentially. Spread the yellows out.
Does end up on the nose.
So you can see the nose hit now will probably leave a pretty makeable double.
I'd like to roll here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to keep that as thin as you can. You don't want to roll behind it and leave the nose double, but just even a foot, 2 feet over probably eliminates the double opportunity. Val Sweeting, the lefty with the intern hitting stick. See if they can keep this around now. Might be rolling a little too far.
That's good.
That's still a good spot. If you're going to take on the double now, you have to roll out, and then still an opportunity maybe for 2, although with how hard that guard is, it's going to be tough to throw something in that they can't dig out.
This is their chance to get out of the deuce here. You don't make this double, or they're going to get a chance to really spread them out. Unlikely you'll have another chance.
All ready to skip stones here. Stefania Constantini. Outturn double attempt. Try to avoid giving up a 2 here. Send to Carrie Einarson.
Sounds close.
Sweepers on off. Just a little thick. Again, straight in the outside of the sheet. The players think they're going to get a little more of a finish on these stones than they are, but they're just holding that line, even fading back a little bit at the end. So now all systems go for Einarson to try to split the rings, get their 2.
Just top 8,
Almost
guys.
anywhere in this half of the house, unless it's well behind the tee line, there will be no real makeable double. Looking a lot like a 2-1 Einarson lead after 2, but every time I've said that so far today, I've been wrong.
Okay, 14-5. Yep. Okay.
You don't want to use up your jinxes for games where you don't have a rooting interest, you know?
True. I don't see it well. I can't think of a game where I do have a
I suppose
dog
this
in the fight
point, yeah.
anymore.
Top 8. Yeah, it was close.
Top 8.
Running a little. Top 4.
Little deeper. Top 8, top 4.
Nice, good.
We don't do too much hexing in charity events and things like that. No. I may have done a few, I don't know.
Go deep. T-line.
Just trying to throw to even up or as close to it as they can.
don't
Still
know
carrying
why.
though.
Don't know why you would ever want to go deeper.
Yeah, this will leave a double now.
Okay. 14.
So a bit of a mistake there. No.
One rock higher and probably no double, but definitely a double now. Be interested to see if they stick with the out turn, the straight turn, or if they play the in turn on the low curl. They're going to go to the in turn. I think that's probably easier. Personal preference, but
You get some more action off of it this way too.
I don't think she can probably go across the top, but maybe just.
Pretty natural here, Brent. Thick half to half. Should be good. Half probably about right.
Yeah.
A chance for Constantini to get out of this end. Likely a blank if she does, but certainly take that over giving up a 2. After 2 flashes early in the end, I think they would have taken a blank in a heartbeat.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't mind giving up a deuce. It's going to happen, but didn't really require any good shots out of Einarson to set it up, unfortunately. Unforced errors.
It's curling hard.
They don't sound very excited about this one.
Okay.
Dead on the nose, so it'll be
Okay, when giocata.
pick your poison. Hit or draw for 2. Then we'll play the draw.
Why, do you want to take this back?
I would have thought she would have just thrown the hit, but
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of where I threw my guard a little hair
Yeah,
and it was nice too.
I just hate to ever
Yeah,
Very
the 14.5 speed.
happy to
Yeah, a
throw the
little
draw,
less.
looks like. Just needs most of the 8
Okay.
foot for this second point.
Okay, so 14.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice here.
Here 14-5, that hog-to-hog time for draw to the button.
Last yet. Yeah. 14.
Final stone, second end. Gary Einarson. Out turn draw.
Think there.
C-line! C-line! T-line!
Keeper's calling T.
sounds like I might have got one right. Looks like a 2-1 lead for Team Einarson. A very no-stress, pretty simple deuce on the board.
My esteemed colleague with the prediction for the end. 2
Finally.
points for Team Einarson. They take a 2-1 lead after 2 ends of play in our feature matchup.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are. And
Tyler George here with 3-time world champion Brent Lang. And Brent, we've seen a center guard to start each of the ends so far in this game. A high one to start this off, so you might see 2 even with this 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Stefani's going to go around this center.
Kicking a little lighter with that rock?
I wonder, not knowing a ton about how they play yet. We talked about it earlier. Is this an even end, odd end strategy? You know, third end, going around this. It's not really a good guard for Einarson. It's more of a, I guess it's more of a force guard. It's, a lot of teams would throw a corner guard here, but then Carey's probably going to throw another center. And with the hammer, you probably don't want to see that double center. So it probably makes some sense to do this.
And Brent, when we talk about odd end, even end hammer, we're talking about having the hammer in the 8th end of the game. For your teams playing 8, at what point did you really start to take that seriously? I mean, the 3rd is a little bit early in an 8-end game, but was it more like the 5th probably where you were taking into consideration, or maybe the 4th?
Yeah, it was definitely in the second half of the game, and it wasn't something we talked about a lot. I mean, we didn't really, unless we were in time trouble, which was pretty rare. Like, I remember maybe once ever in the 7th end of a 10-end game where we blanked because we had some time, even though we were down 1 with the hammer. But for the most part, we liked to play every end, and we would take a deuce anytime that we were able to, and wanted to play all the, we felt like if we played 8 ends, you know, we had a good chance of winning. If we took ends off, then sometimes, you know, it comes down to one rubbed guard like that, or something like that makes a difference in the game. And we wanted it to be a marathon, not a sprint. You know, not always. When I say we, I mean, you know, the old Team Howard or Team Cooey. When you're the underdog, you want the opposite, I think.
Right.
So, but today it seems to be really at the forefront. Like, you know, teams are talking about it in the 2nd and 3rd end, and it's like, holy smokes.
Yeah, would never occurred to me to think of that that early in the game.
No.
Because I feel like this is breaking news at any point right now for Rachel Holman. She trails. Delaney Strauss 2-0 after 2 ends of play. Strauss with a 2 in the 2nd after a blank in the 1st. But just to say it while it's happening, you know, we don't see Rachel
probably the only
trailing,
team,
let alone losing.
The only team with a chance at the undefeated season at this point, I think.
We haven't lost yet, Brent.
I played mixed doubles. lost 3 in a row, actually, so that ended quickly.
Well, your men's record is undefeated.
Men's record is, yes.
Yeah.
Smooth.
I plan on staying undefeated for a long time this season.
Overcurled on the guard here, letting Carey off the hook again. After just rubbing that guard, Kristen Karwacki. Giving Dawn all of her comfortable shots, the draws to the forefoot, the center guard, and now a chase to the middle. Got to get her out in the wings as a long-time lead. Just don't think they're reading the speed quite right on these.
Okay, so it's not far off. I don't think it would have killed it, eh?
Yeah, and it's the consistent miss again, still the narrow and light misses.
I think if these teams just watch the stream and listen, they'll learn. No?
Yeah. I mean, you really only have to listen to half of any end of any game, and you're probably going to hear that at this point. It goes for both the men's and the women's side.
Ice does look great. It just looks a little bit tracky for speed, which is pretty common in the first couple of games. As the week goes on, it only gets more and more consistent with the speed, and that's when you really see the precision start to kick in. But here's another strange shot.
That does get a little deep and a little wide.
I was trying to play the come around again and just not really close. But kind of a tricky, tricky okay actually, where it ended up.
Yeah, no pocket for a double.
Is that quiet? It was just a couple feet quiet. Okay, so bumper, yeah, 11.
See Renee Sonnenberg behind the sheet there, one of Curling Canada's national team coaches. If you want you don't know anything about stats, that's who you talk to. Even when she tells me, and she's always right, but I don't understand it anyway, so I just...
Yeah, don't give me the numbers, just tell me what it means I should do.
Right. So if we score more than the other team, if we're up late in the game, our chances of winning are higher.
Yeah, the percentages, if you look at this graph, it really skyrockets with that lead late.
The bigger our lead gets, the more likely we are to win.
Yeah.
It was like Brad.
I was going to say, I would like see the graph from last game.
If we throw the right weight on the right line and we hit the line call correct, I think we'll be fine.
That's basically a direct quote if you didn't watch the previous feature game.
Carving it again. This is the other thing we saw, as you know, as it wears down in the new path, it starts to get straighter and straighter.
Yeah, we heard Brad Jacobs say that the first end of the previous game. Now a hit and roll out here from
It's a bit of a sloppy game, or a sloppy end for sure so far. That's a big missed opportunity for Italy to make that hit and roll low, and you're pretty much guaranteed a 2. Still a chance here, though. Everything will be behind the tee line. The 2 yellows are close together.
Val Sweeting with a little adventure out of the hack there.
Yep, closer to 10. Yep.
Those lefties are always hard to understand, aren't they?
All that matters is the end result, and that's well done by Val. That in-turn hit.
The right speed, you might be able to make the double and the roll, but you'll be behind the tee line. Somebody's going to probably end up behind those 2 center guards, and whoever does that's going to control this end.
Mathis playing the out-turn double and ideally roll for them as well. Rocciadelli trying to get this to turn over. That's on the high side again. So both teams really struggling with this path. We've seen misses on the narrow side, the wide side. Now for Einarson, a good chance to take that path away under the center guards. And Brent, a lot of times when you're playing these shots, it's every bit as much about taking that scoring position away from your opponent as it is about having that position yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything kind of mostly buried top 8, top 4, it's going to be a real problem for the Italians. And, you know, everybody missing on the wide side. This is when one of my old thirds there, Rich Hart, speaking of lefties, would slide down, and if I missed 2 the same way, he'd say, at least miss it tight and show me you're paying attention. At some point, like, somebody's got to miss it on the other side just to see what it feels like.
I want to see it can be done.
Yeah. Good looking shot here, like you said. Taking this path away.
Yeah, really good placement there. And not one that you have to bury completely either. If you're going to be high, actually, you don't want to bury completely.
This call tells me she would like to just hit and stay a couple of times and have a hit for 1 at the end. I don't see her. She's just playing the nose hit on one back 8. I know it's not in great shape, but if you're going to play defensive, I think you're going up and trying to run those guards.
And instead playing the hit and stick on the back stone, and this is one you really need to stick around on if you're going to play it. Because Carey won't hesitate to go right underneath those guards again.
I really need to be shot rock here. No problems.
Goes a little bit towards the middle.
Maybe she's setting up this, hoping that Carey makes the roll and then going to make the skipper's deuce. Doesn't trust her team. I've been on a lot of teams like that where my skip doesn't trust me, so you call the easy ones.
Looks like they're trying to roll all the way open side.
Doesn't want to roll. I would risk it. Hit and roll buried. You know, you're going to be almost biting the back of the button.
Okay, we're going to roll across.
If you get a mistake, it's going to be a steal. And if you don't, you can just follow her down and force her to 1. Really shrink the scoring area.
Yeah, it's kind of drawing the line in the sand, too. If you make the roll, you're telling them, yeah, I put it there to dare you to make it. Yeah, I don't think you're going to make this. That's exactly what you're telling them. Out-turn hit and roll. Carey Einarson.
I get Carey's thought process here.
Yeah, she's trying to take 2 out of the picture without leaving something to freeze to.
Okay.
So that's definitely one you could freeze to if you're thinking that's our chance for 2. See that roll and the half buried behind the rock on the top of the 8-foot.
A little pressure on Italy. I do remember last year, and I know I talked about Stefania, how long she takes in the hack. I do remember them racing at the end of a game, so I don't know if that's common for them.
Allora, io per il centro probabilmente mi darei così con un po' di margine.
So you're hitting the one back 8, but with one back button, we're going to play a freeze. Interesting. She has a game plan, though. Maybe she did want to get it down to a 2-on-1 situation. You know, Italy has 2 shots left. Carrie's only got 1. You get 1 mistake out of Carrie. If you're going to get it, you want it on her last one.
Yeah, I think part of the thought process here, too, is the hit really isn't an easier shot than the freeze, and the hit's taking 2 out of play completely, so may as well play the freeze.
Yeah.
Whereas the hit before was on a wide open stone. But you may be right as well with getting it to skip stones and saying, I want it in my hand if we're going to attack.
2 good spots for this. Not a lot of terrible ones. The worst miss is light. Even if you bounced off of it, it'd be better than light. But if you want to skip, you can't think like a second like I just did. You got to just kind of make the shot.
This is not a where can we be shot. It's a make shot for Stefania. Wants to lock this on this stone on the back of the button.
Supers picks it up right out of her hand, and weight looks really good.
Flicks that rock in the top of the 8s. Sits open. If Carrie ever gets just a hair inside and rolls a few inches, if she's feeling aggressive, can really put the clamps on. But talking about just guarding.
Yeah. Only thing I thought, like, we'd play like a normal or like a firm,
Just roll
like
right into the
if I
back of the
rolled
yellow.
into
There's
this,
nowhere,
that's
Yeah, I think you go for the throat here, absolutely.
Okay.
Carrie's one of the best hitters in the women's game.
And she's going to play firm and just play to lose the back one as opposed to trying to get inside and miss the back one. It looks as though she's got plenty of space to play it with hack if she wanted to.
I think she could play with any weight for sure. You know, you and I, we don't slide as straight as Carrie, so hack's more room for error. She's thinking, I can slide right where I want to, so maybe I'll just take the guesswork out.
I think we also both probably like playing hack more than the upweight, too.
Yeah.
In general.
Just kind of get the weight right and get it close.
Yeah. Einarson playing firm. Trying to get a little to the inside if she can. Got to get by first.
Super D's got to hold this one. Not a good throw. Holy. Oh, and Dawn kicking rocks in her debut. I don't think that one's going to matter, but...
Sakes, Carrie.
It's... Does she have a shot for 2? That was just not a good throw from Carrie.
Looking at that setup, where is the shot for 2? It's not there, I'll tell you that. Okay, there we go. I guess really soft with solid hack. Shooter
just a hair high,
too far, yeah.
Get a little spin.
Yeah, it should be there.
I mean, that's the shot to score anyway, so. If you were sure you weren't going to get 2, though, you'd probably throw like a little bit harder. Just obviously not hard, but no, she's going for a softer weight. I think this is a good play. There's a big unforced error there for Carrie. I know what she's thinking. Like, she's thinking she can anywhere low, you don't want to jam it. But usually you want to take care of that with the ice you take, not with the throw, or one or the other, not both. That's always the best one. The skip says, I iced you tight, and I was like, well, I wanted to make sure I hit the guard, and we know it's the guard.
Yeah.
You got to know where you're going to take care of my least favorite word in curling, which is tolerance. If you're still talking tolerance, you're probably not going to win on this side of the event this week.
You've probably missed to the wrong side of your tolerance a few times.
Yeah.
Final stone of the 3rd, Stefania Constantini. Soft weight, short run, and try to stick around for 2. Tight on line on this one, too.
Oh, no. She's going to give up 2. Oh, never mind.
Or she's going to get 2.
Super.
Really well done there by Constantini.
My Italian let me down again. I thought they gave up. She got too easy.
Yeah, that's a 2 for red, so the Italians Team Constantini with a 3-2 lead after 3 ends over Carrie Einarson. With 2 from Stefani Constantini in the third. Puts her out in front of Carrie Einarson. 3-2. Starting the 4th end of play. Tyler George with Brent Lang. Brent, I think we're both kind of fooled by the nonchalant.
They just knew it was good,
there.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, they stood up and they just knew it was perfect. Walk away. Don't fall on it. Take our 2.
That's shoot the 3-pointer and don't even watch it go in. Just run to the other end.
Yeah, that's Steph Curry style.
Center guard crosses the center line, not touching for the no-tick zone, but
back and forth, just kind of handing breaks back and forth, but a closely contested match here at the moment. I think this is our first kind of more traditional center guard, corner guard setup. Carry 4th end. Coming off a bit of a rough deuce. That's not that's an unfortunate one to give. If she makes her last one, it's probably going to steal at least 1. 3-point swing, so probably a little on tilt here, wanting to make something happen, get a multiple score, and get back into the lead.
Who's in line a little? That's good, Kristen.
good guard there from Kristen Karwacki. Kristen came down to our charity event, House of Hearts, graced us with her presence. Appreciate her time helping feed hungry kids. We'll get you down for that one of these years, Brent.
I know, right? That's one of the ones I need to get to. The other one is the Curl for Kids in Toronto, and every year I threaten, and then something happens.
I've threatened him with my presence too many times. 10 times I've been there for Curl for Kids.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Bill and Dana do a great job running that event, and
absolutely.
It used to be always a lot of times during the players, and then now during Weedman season, the family business. So there's lots of stuff going on.
And the last few years, there's been a couple times, because it's always on Easter weekend, that it's been back-to-back with House of Hearts in Duluth. And
right.
I'm sure the listeners are mostly aware of what happens at these events. So if you value your longevity in
your
life,
health,
it's not always advisable to do the doubleheader, but
only the true pros like JK can do that.
Rachel Homan got tired of losing over on sheet A and put up a 4 in the third. Go up 4-2. We're on sheet C. Caitlin Laws up 2-1 on Team Kim, and on sheet D, Silvana Tiranzoni with a 4-0 lead on Team Morrison.
Shoot.
Traditional start to our end here, but over curling. Kristen's second one, perfect weight, just over curled, allowing Stefani to call for the wide open takeout, hitting line 2.
And an end, Brent, where if you can manufacture a steal, great, but a force, be a victory for Team Constantini. Make it a 4-end game, and you have Hammer in the first.
Absolutely.
Spreads those rocks out a little. That's a pretty good result. Looks as though the center guard may be covering at least the inside of that stone, if not all of it.
For sure. Big half of it, for sure. Try and make it hit and roll over behind the corner. Got to get something behind that corner guard. Key to getting two, and you know, if you want to simplify for somebody with my mental skills, is you got to get one in there that they can't take out early. That's the easiest way to get a deuce. This looks like a bit like a knuckle curveball from Don. Not a lot of rotation.
That looks like one of my throws there.
Right?
Walk that thing down. Just take
Light
more
again.
Try and spin it. Keep going.
Maybe
Keep
spin
going.
it onto the rings.
Good.
Oh, crafty.
That's the veteran spin.
12-4.
It does look like it's dead behind the guard, too. Yeah. She heard me. You got to get one in there, but usually you want it to be second shot, not third, but that's going to be there all end, likely. So need this to be a good guard. Can't leave her either corner of shot rock because they will chase.
Angela Romay did not have a fun time down the sheet this way in the second end.
No. We should have invited Coach Fry to join us here. I'm sure his Italian is like up to par by now. He could be telling us what these ladies are saying.
I'd like to hear him speaking Italian for the masses.
Oh, I've heard it.
Mic here.
I'm sure he's fluent. Perfect guard.
And nicely placed there by Romay.
I knew you were going to make those every time. You'd guard every time you were shot rock. So Dawn with the run back. Hasn't thrown a lot of these since like 2005. Actually, she played some mixed doubles with Mike. They beat us last year. Oh,
that's
just
a good
like
result
butter.
there. Perfect.
That's beauty.
Clears the guard, opens up the center, gets rid of the number 2 counter.
Now are we still guarding? We are. I like the aggression.
And if you know you're going to make that one, that's why you wreck the guard on the first and roll into the rings. Much different guarding this stone when yellow does have a biter in the outside under that corner, completely buried. But really, Brent, not a lot of option.
You could go around somewhere. You go around the red corner guard or something and just outcount that yellow. But yeah, you missed by a little bit here, and they're going to chase. But
this is really high right now. They need to get this tighter. If it's high, it'd be easy to dig out. I don't think Carrie will have any trouble digging that.
Got the line right, but Val, the lefty intern, will be an easier chase. Generally, the intern will curl a little bit earlier and a little bit more than the outturn for both-handed players. Not everybody follows that rule, but just in general.
Val Sweeting, intern side.
Yes.
Soft weight hit. Sweepers calling hack out of hand.
They've been missing these lights so far. This looks a bit like a draw.
Yep. Stay down. Roll it on.
See where they roll this to.
13-7. Okay.
Oof.
It's a draw almost, right?
13-7. Yeah, that's.
I'd be going around that red one. She is loving this guard, though. And what do I know? It's working so far.
Yeah, they definitely want this one tighter than the last, but I mean the safest shot, no question, to stay away from 2 would be to come into the house. Try to get to top 8 buried or top 12 buried even, if it's underneath the guards.
Both precise shots, I guess. Like it's easy to leave a double if you try that, but this one's much tighter.
Needs to stop. Over curls a little bit again, so there will be an opportunity to play that same soft weight hit for Val.
I don't want to jinx Val, but I'd say there's no chance she makes the same mistake twice.
I don't want to jinx her either, so I'm just not going to say anything. I don't know that I have the pull you do.
No, it's just, I don't, yeah. Who am I to think I have that kind of power, eh?
Val Sweeting with this intern soft weight hit that we're positive she's going to make. Sweeper's just cleaning now.
Gotta kill it.
That needs to go. That's soft again. So it does move the stone out of count and 6 shot rocks. Not a bad result.
Peace Berry, tough chase. They kind of got to probably chase it over the top and then somehow stick. Yeah. And then Carey can at least come around the center. So
I think that one fooled the sweepers too, Brent. You heard them calling hack halfway down.
Ended up its back line, right? Yeah. We just continue to see those chases miss light, which under normal conditions is not a problem. The miss is usually heavy.
Now, something to watch out for too as we're in the first day of this competition. If the speed holds up as we get into the later draws, and usually you don't see too much of that until the 4th game. But if the misses on these hits continue to be on the light side, then we like to give the players the benefit of the doubt and throw the ice crew under the bus.
That's one of the top curling culture things there is. You blame the ice maker, right? And then the rocks, the crowd,
the weather,
yeah, it was nice out.
The lunar position.
It wasn't raining when we got here, so I don't. And I know we're on an island, but it's not like we're tropical here. So frost, I wouldn't have thought would be a huge problem.
There's no
beautiful
fog
facility.
rising up off the ice like in
Not
Newfoundland.
Yet. Not yet. So tough shot here for Stefani. Got to get the weight right, but she needs enough to kill it. Can't leave a biter. And needs to save her shooter because Carey has a fairly simple chase to lie to.
This one a little on the wide side, trying to get this to turn over. Got a ways to go. How far will the yellow go? Oof.
Oh no.
Do we ever do this?
Yeah, I think you do.
I think so too.
There is a
I think with like
biter up in the top for
like a
number 3 counter, so
Definitely get it.
I don't think you can risk leaving it and hoping it's still there on the last. You got to hit number 1.
Maybe a little bit.
Brent, best spot to leave the shooter here?
Yeah.
I would say anywhere that you're in the house is pretty good. I mean, I don't see her taking on the freeze if you nose it, but she might. It's really early in the game, but that would be unfortunate if she did and took the whole end away. So you want to roll probably to halfway between the broom and the rock, kind of right into the hole.
Yeah, I think it should curl up here.
That does look like the number 2 counter is pretty much completely buried too, so won't be a double to play off of that stone either.
Don't think so. I don't think no matter where she hits and stays here that there'll be a double. So really anywhere in the rings, but yeah, ideally don't stay behind the guard. Stefani she's used to the freezes against a million because she's a mixed doubleist, so maybe she would take that on. I'd be impressed.
This turning early too. Sweepers hammering it to try to get by, but Rex once again.
That's going to spin in the rings.
She get the Don McEwen spin.
No,
maybe not quite.
This is got to think the ice is giving them fits right now.
Yeah, it's not as we saw earlier where it's all narrow misses. Now we're seeing a few on the wide side as well. But I think, Brent, part of that is the lines they're playing too. The miss on that intern hit on the opposite side. Maybe just far enough out that it ran a bit, but boy, again, digging for help for the players here. We're getting deep.
As much as this looks like a simple shot, everything you're seeing going on out there, though, like if this is ever a little deep and leaves a double, be a double for 3, potentially a measure for 4. So she's got to put this in a good spot as well. A lot of room for error, though. I mean,
yeah, the positive side is there's a pretty big area she can throw it.
It's at least 8 feet wide. I know that. 8 feet deep, rather. The line, she's got pretty big room for error. Just can't be wide open. Tightening the ice, I thought that was plenty tight enough when she put it down. Don't want to be anywhere near that guard.
As long as you're not really anything, you're good. Really wide, really narrow, really light, really heavy.
It's true.
Stefania Constantini's last here in the fourth. Trying to get a second counter in. Take away any opportunity for a multiple point end for Carrie Einarson.
She does throw it really well. Like
that's the delivery is so repeatable.
I had a training camp on the weekend with Jen, and I was working on something. I just watched her. Her rock never leaves the line. I don't know how you do that. Mine's like it's riding a roller coaster. It's a good-looking shot here by Stefania.
Yeah, that's perfect. That will eliminate any chance of a 2, 3, or 4 for Carrie. Just have to draw a full 8 foot, so a missed opportunity here for Canada's team Einarson.
Speaking of roller coaster, that was a roller coaster of an end.
That's another. We need a graphic that shows the likelihood,
the momentum.
Last game we might have broken the machine in the first
so
draw for it.
14-5?
Yep.
But we don't want the games with the flat line. We want the jump up and down all over the place.
Like you said earlier, it is still a game of misses. There's fewer than there used to be, for sure, but it's the misses that make the game truly interesting. We don't want to miss here, though. I mean, we need to see these made, keep the game good, nice and close.
Final stone in the first half of this game. Carrie Einarson drawing full 8 foot against
Go ahead, Don.
2 Constantini counters.
I think it's really close.
Sweepers like it.
Have a tie game halfway through here.
Nice carry.
That is made. So with all the ups and downs, we'll be playing a 4-end game. After 4 ends of play, Constantini and Einarson tied 3-3.
Fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love,
Looks like we're not doing eyelets this time around. Start of the 5th end. Our feature matchup here. Stefania Constantini, Carrie Einarson tied 3-3. Tyler George here with 3-time world champion Brent Lang. And Brent, a topsy-turvy battle. The 4 ends, just when you think one team has got the advantage, flips back the other way, and we get another 4 ends like that. It's going to be fun commentary the rest of the way.
Yeah, anybody's game. Obviously, it's 3-3, so nobody with a real clear advantage. But trading misses so far, especially that last end, was a bit of a roller coaster. And it looks like Stefania wants to stick to the going around the centers, and Carrie seems to be of the school that she wants to throw the corner when the other team throws the center. So neither is wrong. They both have pros and cons, but I always said the right shot's the one you're going to make. Very rarely do you say after making the shot you called that, oh, that was really stupid. It happens. I mean,
why did we play the one that I made perfect?
Yeah, I mean, Benny made one earlier. Pretty much perfect. That hit and roll in the 8th end. 9th end.
Nutted it. Could not have made the called shot better. But I know some people were saying, why did we do that?
Yeah. Anyway. So see if they can pick up on the speed. That seems to be the challenge. I mean, they're missing some of the chases light, which, like I said, in general, you got to give them credit for not being worried about overthrowing those hack weight chases. That's the tendency.
Just to my broom. Easy, done.
Good little shot here from Kristen Krowacki.
Really well done by Wacker. See our World Championship total just went up in the building once again as Jeff Stoughton standing in the entryway down below.
Another one of Curling Canada's national team coaches. Soon we're going to have more coaches than players.
It's quite the staff at this point.
Jeff can still slide. I'm not sure the rest of them can.
Yeah, David on the in the director position. I haven't seen him throw a rock in.
I think he's curling in his new hometown, Okotoks, Alberta. I think he's playing once a week, so I think he could probably still do it. It's funny good shot there, nice free. So good start to this end. It's funny with Dave, you know, he's the technical director, and I agree with what he's teaching, and then you watch him throw it, and it's like, whoa, where are you headed there?
I didn't say anything about watching me do it.
The sidewinder. Do as I say, not as I do. Isn't that parenting and coaching 101?
That's correct. Piling some rocks up in the center of the sheet now. I'm sure Dawn has no issue with that, getting back to her game too. So we did see the slash double in the previous entry.
Yeah, made it easy.
For fun.
Set up a great opportunity. At one point late, like Carrie's throwing a hit to lie 3 and had to draw against 2.
Stay done. That's fine. Sweep, guys.
Dawn's lacking a little rotation on that outturn for the ice conditions.
Yeah, and that's something she definitely is familiar with too, with slam ice. And when we talk about what we expect with slam conditions, Brent, it's not like we're talking about the last 2 or 3 years. This is pretty much what we've seen for as long as I've played the slams, as long as I watched them on television.
Yeah, it's aggressive. Oof. Aggressive curl for sure. That was really unfortunate. So Dawn a chance again. And knowing Dawn, I guarantee you she's thrown a million rocks preparing for this. But it would have been in a curling club where probably it was plenty of rotation. And it's not just that you need more, like you need to get 3 rotations, you got to spin it more than to get 3 rotations on curling club ice.
Right.
Everything changes.
Dawn playing the intern this time.
I thought I kind of dropped it. A little. Yep. A little bit for line. Yep. Line's good. Line's good.
Expecting this to curl now too. A little different path, a hair farther out. Starting to turn now.
If they get the line here.
Hard, you got a good one.
I love the weight. Oh, they lost it a bit, but that's a great shot by Dawn.
And you could see again there at the end, Brent, that was kind of knuckling. Lost the handle.
And Carrie just said as much. bringing in a new player that you're not familiar with, no matter how great they are, there's definitely an adjustment. It's always fun, though. That was some of the greatest memories I have, is playing for some of those other guys that on most weeks I hated. Furby and Martin, on the ice only, of course.
Yeah.
But got a chance to play with both of those guys, complete opposites.
I would say that's an accurate statement. Yeah.
Era un po' più lenta forse la prima.
Non ce l'avevo, neanche questa.
Italy in big trouble here now. Trying to clean up the front, the double peel, and got it going straight back and really blew things up in a bad way. So Val with the lefty out turn, throwing probably about 5 feet short center guard, dead in front of the top 4-foot stone, and then Italy's going to have no choice but to run it back. They need to blow up that 4-foot situation ASAP.
This looks real short right now. You have to hammer it to get to a tight guard, but the line's tight as well, so now they're just trying to get anything they can out of this.
Okay, good.
Stops on the center line.
I think she can get to the nose.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where if you can move the back one, unlock it, stay on top of the number 3 counter, you might be able to set up a chance for a multiple point in.
If you're ever chasing and you hit this high at all and roll off, though, those yellows are not going anywhere.
I'll let you listen in here for those that speak Italian if you like, or we could let Brent translate if you prefer.
Phone a friend. I'll
just gonna make something up, but
yeah,
gonna be maybe 6 or 7 of you that know that he's not lying.
Yeah, most of you won't have any idea.
Doesn't
anyway.
matter.
So switch to the safer call. I think she's trying to run the guards. Could get the red coming back in with a really good shot. Mezzamino, I don't know, what's that, 3/4, 2/3? If we want to hit this high, if any contact on that second red one, get that heading back in there is helpful.
Playing the run. See how many they can get moving. Matt is throwing the high hard one.
Okay.
Just removes the one, leaves the shooter up there.
Starting to think about how do we only give up a steal of 1. Thankfully, that back red one is second shot. Other guard, other side. Same idea, though. These are the guards you love to throw. Lots of room for error because you're just trying to plug a hole that's only a rock wide.
Yep. 4 feet. A little tighter. 2.5.
2.5 on the call. Now, earlier today, we thought that 2.5 was pretty tight guard or mid-tight. And then we heard 4.5.
Right.
And then that was still a guard. We're not assuming anything at this point.
I'll have to do some research.
We're going to have to interview each team individually and see what numbers they use for their draw system.
This is one of the beauties of any team sport. You don't have to speak the language of anybody else. You can create your own as long as everybody knows what you're talking about within your team. But this is over curling is allowing a chase. And this side, if they hit it a little bit high, it still spreads everything. So over curled in a spot where anything but would have been fine. This is not even close.
That's over curling by a long ways.
Somebody's got to miss one of these hits heavy. Hooks or runner too.
Yeah, now the outturn run is gone.
13.
So all about rock placement again for Carrie. We'll see what she's thinking for where they want to put this.
Anywhere in front of that top yellow one. The distance, the height doesn't matter anymore, the depth. This needs to be kind of biting center line.
Yeah, this is one, there's a pretty big area of where you can leave this and take everything away, because there really isn't another option.
I don't think Stefania can even afford to open it up anymore. If this was Carrie's last shot, she might play the board waiter on the nose and lie 3 in the forefoot. So you might see Team Italy get together and think about throwing the guard and taking the hammer to 6, down 1.
We're really tight. Easy then. Easy line. We're tight. A little tighter.
It's all there already, sweepers are saying, so
We're to it. Line's good. You're on it.
it's to bounce off of this guard.
Easy. Whoa.
I think that's just good enough.
I think so.
It's good. Nice speed. Nice sweep. Yeah, good brush.
So if I'm Stefania, I'm worried they're going to whip another one around with the in-turn.
Esatto. Sì, dobbiamo coprirle ben qua. Sì. Ci festeggiamo. 5-4, l'importante è
Even if you nose that guard they just threw, you're still leaving one yellow in, probably.
Yeah, and it's not good. They whip another one around there. And she said looked like she motioned to put this kind of top 12, top 8, hopefully over almost to the center line to take away that yellow run back that Carrie just guarded there. If she hits that a hair high, she could lie probably 3, almost all in the forefoot.
Difficult score right now.
Yeah, I think they've abandoned the score, trying to not give up more than 1.
In-turn come around draw for Stefania. So I thought I waited long enough on that one and timed it right. She added another hitch in there for me.
She goes when she's ready.
I'll tell you what I'm throwing around. Trying to keep this above the tee line, give herself something for her last shot, especially take away that path for Einarson.
Pretty much exactly what she called.
Trying to look at this in-off angle and see if you could get it thin enough to shoot it over the top and miss your own red in the back.
That might be there for 2, Val, just to pop
that's
it.
what they're looking at.
Doesn't Carrie maybe try it then?
Rip it? So what else does she have?
Yeah, the end is virtually over if you rip that yellow corner, I think.
I'd be worried if I'm ever here, though. But then
Although, could you ever play the long
I don't
red?
mind that, actually. If we can ever get here, that's pretty
Possibly
good.
for 3.
I don't think.
Yeah, it's that or either rip it out or try and
Yeah, that'd be fancy.
So if I ever chap.
I wouldn't spend a lot of time here.
So, like, the only thing we can't do is chop really. So, but
Yeah.
even if we're light, we guard that path.
Okay.
It doesn't look good on the
Just playing the clean draw.
Yeah, I think she thinks that. I don't know what she thinks, actually. Like, they can't outdraw that, so she thinks she can get second shot, though, potentially. So maybe lie 2. Good chance for a
Do you
practice
guys
draw,
like
too.
this, trying to get in there for a second?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Like, the only thing I was looking at is, like, the in-off, but I think the in-off, like, it should just rub the back and then spill through.
Yeah, and if you're light,
Like-
that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
So ideally, what top 4?
bite the button.
Bite the button. Okay.
What are you thinking for speed here?
Got 14.3 on hers. Yeah.
'Kay.
It's a little, just a couple feet heavier.
Okay.
You got to go a little wider, too. And if we're going to play the shot, I know light's okay, as Kristen says, but if we're going to play this shot, I mean, we might as well try and make it. It's not like if we're heavy, they can't do anything anyway.
It's a very precise in-turn draw attempt here for Carrie.
Go heavy. It'll come off.
Trying to get second shot and sit 2. Should be a big point in this 3-3 game in the 5th.
Choppy.
Got a curl. 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 Distance. Go.
Line's good now, just needs to get there.
Ah.
That's a good effort. Took away the in-off. I think she's throwing this away.
I think discretion's the better part of valor here, yes.
Probably be easier
So close.
Switching.
Going to the opposite side and concede the point to Einarson. Quickly in the hack, throws it away. So that will be a steal of 1 for Carrie Einarson. Canadian squad takes a 4-3 lead over Stefania Constantini of Italy after 5 ends of play.
This is not real.
Having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Matchup here. Team Live.
We're there.
Grand Slam of Curling. Tour Challenge. Sponsored by HearingLife. Carrie Einarson leading Stefania Constantini 4-3. Tyler George here with Brent Lang.
15.
Brent, really solid end there from Carrie. Good rock positioning, set up that steal. There were a few misses from Stefania's squad to give her that opportunity, but that was a very professional end by Carrie Einarson to secure that point.
It was, and I think it was Kristen Karwacki-Stone that might have scored that end, making that freeze, and just the one big miss that wasn't that far off a good shot by Team Italy where they were playing the double and it came back in the house. And so, yeah, it's the momentum swung Einarson's way, but down 1 with the hammer, playing 6. You know, a score here, and we've got a good game, a deuce here, and all of a sudden the momentum meter swings the other way again. That is going to require another corner guard, though. That one's not going to help.
They may be able to dig something out that goes underneath that.
I think you could chase anything behind that one, but again, it's just speed challenges that we're seeing here. All of the misses we've seen are really based on speed, and almost every one of them has been light.
Mine's good. I like it.
We haven't heard a lot of discussion among the players about questioning the speed. It is possible it's just been the throws and just not getting it clean out of hand and rocks turning over and losing speed, which we again do see fairly consistently in slam play, that the speed can be altered so much by a soft release on this surface.
Yeah, if it curls early, you really have no chance out here, and that's true in a lot of arena, but especially at the slams where we're trying to make it so that any shot is possible. The flip side of that is you can't be soft, you can't be tight, you can't get it curling early. So we're really making the ice for Team Mount. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Bruce has approved these conditions. We're good with this. We're going to continue to throw 5 and 6 rotations perfectly and make everything. Again, a credit to that squad, too. I don't know that there's many teams in the world, and none that I've ever seen before them, that had the groupthink mentality of we're all going to throw the rock the exact same way and take the skip's job out of it for brooming for each individual player.
Yeah, everybody's always talks about it, but it shows up for them more, I think, because they throw it differently than most too. They've got an idea and a theory, and obviously the results speak for themselves. I'm sure Murdoch, I haven't asked him yet, but I think he probably takes a lot of the credit. Right?
I think he has to.
Right?
Yeah, that's his job, because he's going to get the blame if it doesn't work,
well,
too.
We're going to see what's going to happen. I don't see anybody throwing it like them in Canada yet, but Dave's only been here 6 months, so.
See, Ben's coming to pay up for
You coming to pay all your fines, Mr. Hebert? You guys are buying a nice bottle of wine tonight.
Curl.
Wait, you were hot as...
Top 12, maybe.
The victorious Ben Hebert. You're in the broadcast booth now.
Never in doubt.
That's okay. All right, Don, that's fine. No pressure, guys. Did you pass throws? Yep.
Okay.
So interesting. This is one of the newer ways to defend against the double corner guards is just fill the rings. No real easy doubles. Try and get 3 in the rings, ideally in the 8-foot where behind the corner guard it doesn't count any of them. They didn't get that, but a lot of work for Italy to do to get any pressure on Team Einarson here.
Yes, so many rocks you have to move in order to try to score 2 with where they're set up. And that, as you said, has been the best defense.
Coach Reader Rama behind the bench. How did they do in their first game? They lost to Eden?
I believe that's correct.
He's got a busy schedule. I've always wondered how he balances both. You know, he's been doing it for a while. And Connor does the same thing. It's team coach / player.
Also the commissioner for our fantasy football league, too.
Of course.
So, of course. He's got a lot on his plate, and we know where the priorities lie with that.
Football first, coaching second, men's team third.
I already mentioned in the last draw, Catlin Schneider out there, that I beat him this week, and I already beat Reed this year, too, in the first 4. So this tournament's just filled with people I keep dominating in fantasy football.
Great double here and roll, getting shot rock off, opening up that corner guard more importantly. And forcing Carey to chase this. Everything's going to be in the 12-foot, half 8-foot. You could see Italy hopefully play a draw shot next and try and get one buried.
Not a lot of danger for either team right now.
Not yet.
Yep.
Can happen quick.
Clean.
Now it's an 8 attempt from Don.
Yep. Good. Right throw.
The rolls not stagger, so yeah, that does the trick. Both those yellows still usable. I don't know why we're hitting here. I think I'd prefer to come around that tight red corner guard. And
yeah, the thought may be that they're trying to open up that draw path, but again, with how high that corner is, you're not throwing another corner on that side at any point during the rest of the set. So you're opening up a path that is really of no use to you. But it will be the out-turn hit. See where they try to leave the shooter there. Just roll full onto the rings.
Kind of making Carey's job easy. And that rolled to a spot where if they nose it now, you can't play around the corner. It's going to be in the way. But that's one of the beauties of our game of curling is that you can debate strategy all day long.
And we will.
Oh yeah. What else would we do at night? You got to grab the salt and pepper shakers and plates and beer bottles, and that's what you use for your rocks on the bar top table late at night.
Well, I mean, after calling 3 games today, too, the first thing I'm going to do when I leave is talk about the 3 games that I called wherever I end up spending my time this evening.
So leaving the double, it seems to me she's almost playing for a blank end here, which, okay, see how it plays out. But we got our first final. Team Tiranzoni not being friendly to Team Morrison, winning 9-1 after 5 ends, stealing 4 in the 5th end to wrap up their first victory. So Team Morrison drops to the B, and Team Tiranzoni, one of the hottest teams over the last number of years on the tour and at the World Championships, moving into, I guess, an A semifinal already. Win 3 before you lose 3 to get to the playoffs here this week. Simple. A guy like me can figure it out.
I always like the triple knock for that reason. You never get to the final game and think, well, if we do this and this team does that, and how's our last shot draw looking? And it's, hey, if we win, we're in. If we lose, we're out. Every time in that last game.
Always playing somebody that matters, never counting on anybody else. That was simple. And with the quality of teams now, the matchups, that used to be what we wanted to maybe have some key matchups we could, promote. But just think of, there's been 3 draws today, and there's 9 key matchups we've had already.
Yeah.
Good double there, but still very comfortable for Val and Carey. And I got to think Carey's kind of thinking, I wonder what she's up to here.
Trading hits at this point is...
She's
No
Still
problem
gonna
for
hit
Carey.
Nice pair, girl. Good girl.
Trying to get under with the roll, but again, I mean, you're taking the scenic route to get there.
He was just thinking blank 6, blank 7, 2 and 8. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, looking at your own stats for your team, that this is where we're strongest, playing it clean and then playing to get hammered coming home. But it's a long way to go against a team of that caliber, too, where to try to blank those two ends, you're still going to have to get 2 in the last end anyways against a team who's probably, by the stats, regardless of what your own stats are, at least a 60% chance of winning the game.
No doubt.
Whoever just knows here.
I don't personally like playing for 40%.
Could just roll a little.
There's a few games I would have taken it.
Oh, yeah, lots of games, right? Trying to get it back to 40% chance.
But now we're getting too close to the math side of things again. So
yeah.
We're
to
done
our
with
lanes.
that now.
So it's just a roll. She was talking about just nosing this, and then I'll be interested. Surely then the Italians will draw.
Control. Just roll like just a little.
And Carey's telling us.
Nosing there isn't terrible.
Roll to Val's broom.
You got it.
Kind of cut off the corner. Might grab a little biter.
Yeah, I don't think there's a spot that Carey will roll to that they don't draw on the next shot. It would be interesting to see them play the entire end open to play for his skips too. And try to score 2 with the last 2 draws.
Yep. Hard.
This is crossing.
Yep. Hard. Let her roll.
He knows, so I have to assume this will be a draw now.
That's good. Nice and brush. Yep. There you go. Good.
I don't think it matters if it's on the paint.
Vogliamo giocare l'out da venire profonde.
Sì, però poi lei viene a freeze. O a questo punto facciamo un roll e speriamo che lei non venga la doppia.
Però penso che se facciamo un roll, se io fa la doppia o magari viene anche dietro. Vi piace più dietro o roll?
She doesn't want
Io
to
stavo
draw.
pensando roll di toccare.
Yeah, looking at playing it,
Cioè,
hit and
posso?
roll.
Sì.
Looks like you might be able to throw it hard and hit it semi-thick off the back of that.
Abbiamo un 1 ok. Se invece veniamo dietro,
Otherwise, with what we've seen, I think you'd have to hit it so thin to get in the rings that you might not kill the yellow one.
Mezza 10 tocchiamo?
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around this one too.
Dici sì?
Not only are you playing it extremely conservatively, but this is a way tougher shot than the draw.
For me, it is for sure, from what I've seen.
She's playing the soft weight hit and trying to roll into the rings.
I guess there's no draw around the center one. She'd have to go around the corner because that corner guard's kind of probably at least in your eye. But she's playing it soft. See how this plays out.
Yeah, if you were playing blank, you could fire it.
Yeah.
But she's trying to roll onto the paint. Out-turn hit. Trying to hold the line for the roll. That'll be nose, and I feel very confident on what Carey's going to throw now.
Maybe this is the ultimate rope-a-dope. Carey gets in a little tighter path, bumps them in, they split for 3.
Scusa, non ti avevo vista all'inizio.
It's got to be a little bit of an awkward draw, but maybe not.
Yeah, that guard that is behind the scoreboard is so high.
That you can't even see it.
I think she's got
It's still there, though. Trust us.
Yeah.
Sweep
Got
early.
another
Kristen.
final.
Yeah.
More hometown Canadian heroes. Team Holman
I think just a couple feet
spotted
heavier
Team Strauss a 2-point lead after 2 and then got really nasty. And
Got it.
just got handshakes after 6.
The hottest team on the planet stays hot. No real surprise there. It's really, every tournament they play is theirs to win until somebody takes it from them at this point.
Seems to be that way.
Carey playing the in turn, come around draw.
Line's perfect. Back 8. T-line.
Get a
Trying really
little
hard.
close.
Line's perfect.
Plenty of weight.
Can't. Sit.
You don't want this to come out the other side and leave a blank, which is there, but can't see much.
Almost should have carved that and got it behind the other one. It's right in the hole. You can see it finishing here and right in the hole in between those two reds.
And they are playing. It's blank the end. Probably see half from the hack somewhere in there.
Looks like a hole that if you get through it, I don't think you can miss it. Almost would call that, you know, it's kind of framed, as Mikey McEwen might say. Oftentimes you practice throwing through rocks, and the rocks are a lot tighter together than that, so this should be no problem.
Final stone, 6th end, Stefania Constantini playing for the blank. Out-turn, hit and roll out.
Sounded tight.
This is very tight. Oh, papers by. And does roll out, so gets her blank. Carries the hammer on to the 7th end. Einarson still leading 4-3.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
After a blank in the 6th by Team Constantini, Carrie Einarson still leading 4-3 into our 7th end here in our feature matchup. Draw 3. The Grand Slam of Curling HearingLife Tour Challenge, brought to you by Home Team Live.
Line's perfect.
With 3-time world champion and 456-time slam champion Brent Lang.
Oh yeah, one of the biggest questions I get, would you trade all those slams for the gold medal? Well, it's not an option, so don't ask me stupid questions. I'm interested, very interested to see how Stefania and her team play this end after watching the 6th. And I'm not saying they played it wrong, but it was certainly different from what I would expect.
I think it's pretty apparent that they were hoping to blank that entire end, which, not saying right or wrong on if it's going to set them up better for the last couple ends, but really difficult to do, and probably had a couple opportunities to try to score two.
Goes against traditional wisdom, which is all I know, old people wisdom.
And what it says about the 7th is, you know, they're 100% playing blank.
I would expect that.
You would think.
Julia maybe wasn't trying to throw a guard there, a little light on her come around, which may complicate things, but they lined up nice. Anything behind here, it's quite easy to remove all 3.
Yeah, they'll have to wait a few more stones to attempt it. It's definitely going to be chasing from the outset after that draw came up short by Lacidelli.
Needs to stop. Back button. Back forward. Back. Okay, that's fine.
That's not true. Carrie doesn't think that's fine.
I don't think she thinks
that's just being supportive.
Yeah.
Should have one game a week where the skips, everybody has to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to your mind, you have to say out loud. We'd break up a lot of teams, though. So maybe we'll keep that for later. We'll just say what they're thinking for it. We'll have our best guess.
Yeah. We're allowed. We're encouraged to do that, apparently. That's pretty good for you.
Right?
That'd be honest, huh?
Right?
Yeah, I expected a lot worse there.
No mistake this time from Julia. This one looks good. Top button.
That's very good placement there. Probably a difficult blank already with the rock set up without moving a whole bunch of granite, especially after Carrie lobs this one in. But Brent would be very interested to see, with whatever the angles are after this shot, if they do run that front immediately and play all-out blank, which after potentially blanking 6 has to be the plan going into this end.
Dawn made this draw a couple ends ago, but she let it go and immediately said max, and Dawn's almost always right with her feel.
Just top 4. Val, you gotta go. Val, go.
They should really walk sideways at the end.
Hard. Okay.
She was right. She's just a hair heavier. She
14-1.
throws that 4 or 5 feet lighter. They can sweep it in there, and it gets a little more curl. Not a great result bumping that one frozen either. But she could blow this up now. You could get the 2 guards and shot rock and leave yours frozen back button.
Yeah, she's eyeballing that already.
She phoned her commentator friend, and
Coach Lang says bing, bang, boom.
If you want a blank, that's a good chance. My biggest fear if I'm Stefania is that red-yellow is lined so good to come straight back to the button for Carrie at some point.
They are going to call timeout and talk about this. And Brent, again, why we're talking about expecting the run to open things up is just a philosophy thing for the team, as the way that they played this game to this point says that they're playing to have hammer in the last end.
That's what it's telling me, yeah.
And the Rocks, may position themselves in a way that you have a great setup to score 2 or 3, but
this is a good chance to put some pressure on Carrie, but the way they've called 6 and the fact they didn't throw a corner guard here tells me they really want to take the hammer. See if we can hear the coach.
Or tap, or double peel, maybe contact.
If we stick to the first plan, blank, definitely play the guard.
But do you think it's there to come here?
Absolutely.
Like
maybe
7-8?
I think it's, you can hit that a little bit less. Really,
2/3?
Yeah, absolutely. The double is maybe more important than you make the run back into it.
I would agree with that too.
The 7 is going here or here?
I think it's going to go on that side, yeah.
So good for the blank? So what do you think? 2 or blank here?
I think in this case, if we want to play for the blank, we should play the, even if we make the round back there, she have to protect this.
Yeah.
So I think the round back
or
the double there is fine.
So 2/3?
Yeah, the double is most important.
Even if you over curl, even if you hit and roll for a corner and that comes back in the yellow split and you're frozen back button, it's not the worst. You like this, Tyler? I think this is what I would probably play at this point with this score.
I think
they're trying to hit it too thick, though.
The mental side of it again too is just how you've played to this point says that's where your mind is tracking. Like, let's continue to play for the blank. Let's play to get the hammer in the last end. Again, I probably would have attacked in the 6th with the way the Rocks were set up before that.
For sure. Not bad.
Gets rid of the guards. And that was objective A. Didn't get the bonus on the rock in the top of the 4-foot, but no guards in play now. So this is definitely a 0 or 2 end, and leaning heavily on the 0 for Team Constantini. Quick decision by Carrie to play the guard. No issue on time for either team right now, with 8 minutes plus remaining for Constantini. Looks like 8.5. And over 11 minutes for Team Einarson. So plenty of time to talk about these shots in the last couple of rounds.
Keep going. Good. Very nice.
And Brent, with all that time left, obviously shows that both teams are playing with good pace. Did you feel like your teams executed better when you were playing with quicker rhythm. We never wanted to use the word play fast, but playing with pace and staying in rhythm as a team.
Sometimes, and what we found, especially with when I played with Team Kui, we had some time trouble late, and we found when we got into that hurry-up offense that, yeah, you get into that rhythm and you do, you know, it's also crunch time, so you're really extra dialed in, but yeah, there's definitely, you want to play with that pace. You want to keep the momentum going when things are going well, and being rushed for time at the end is not that much fun, especially if you're not used to it. We got used to it. It was just part of who we were as a team, and we got, you know, it's a skill to have, but not one you want to have to use all the time. So it's nice to have all that time, but you don't, like you said, you don't want to overanalyze everything, talk yourself out of the right shots, and good players often play a little bit faster, but it is a personal preference. You know, if you took Wayne Maddaw and you compared him to Kevin Kui, Wayne would finish with 15 minutes on the clock, and you know, Kevin just liked to use it all. Analytical, liked to make sure he made all the right choices, and most of the time he did.
Guard here from Val Sweeting, just replacing that last one. McEwen through, and making your opponent waste stones at this point. The blank gets harder and harder as you get later in the end.
So if Italy keeps peeling here, how does Kerry end up not giving up two? You just throw one kind of beside your other one top four? Force him to one?
Yeah, I mean, right next to it probably is, comes down to last.
So if that's the case, then how does Italy make sure that doesn't happen? Do they eventually draw and freeze right on shot rock?
I think so. I think you're coming right to that stone on the back of the bucket.
Right? So, and if you're going to do that, it has to be the next shot.
Yeah, if it gets to skip stones, I don't think you're getting that opportunity.
Kerry could, with that in mind, I mean, if they ever make that, Kerry, you're going to be in rough shape. So she could throw the hit and roll on the yellow one, plant it on the red, be shot, and lie second and, you know, first and third. Or she keeps guarding and say, like you said earlier, I don't think you can make the freeze.
Yeah.
It's a very precise shot.
And I don't think Kerry can ever play the freeze herself because it angles so poorly with being able to run the yellow back into it and maybe losing all three of it. There's just not enough space to get frozen enough on it that they don't all go. I'm sure you all understand exactly what we're saying without a telestrator or anything, too. You're drawing it out in your minds.
Oh, now you can chase the top one.
Okay.
Freezing, I think.
Yeah, that looks to be the call. Outturn freeze attempt here for Mathis.
Huge shot here for Elena. Game ball, really. If you make a really good shot here, you're going to lock in, almost guarantee the deuce.
Outturn freeze attempt. Elena Mathis.
Yeah, it's very light. Cinco Quattro, I know that one. That's 5-4. That's not heavy enough. Now Kerry gets to draw. Big mistake there.
I think so.
Yeah, with where that guard ended up, now she can play the freeze.
For sure, now there's room. Most teams I think still would rather be up 2 without than tied with, right?
Yeah.
There is a thought that tied, tied with the rule, there's a few more steals, not many though, as you mentioned, and then, but the down 2 without, threes are more common than they used to be with the 5 rock. I mean, still not very common. Both are good situations. Pick your poison.
Yeah, and 5 rock really is 6 rock in that scenario because the team with hammer is never peeling anything on 5.
It never made sense that we did the, it should be even numbers, not odd, right?
Yeah, it's extending it by 2 shots if you're the team that's trying to attack with hammer, obviously. So when you're not able to peel until the 7th shot of the end when you're defending, then it does make for interesting TV. You're going to have a ton of rocks in play.
And that's all we care about at this point.
Yeah. This is not about the players.
This has got to go for line.
That's over curling and dying too, so that draw is still there, Brett, to sit second.
Però a me sembrava un po' anche lei.
That's the spot. Question is, how do we get there? I think it's got to look wide and got to look a little heavy to make it.
A me taglia tanto, sì.
If they're sweeping early for line or they're sweeping early for weight, I think they're dead.
Yeah, that's slam drawing 101 too. Is just take a wide enough path that you can walk it down. Because if you're tight, you're not holding it anyways.
Esatto. Sì.
Exacto. That's right.
Exacto and C. I know those. Quattro, 4. Yeah, C. Italian.
It's a good thing you got us here on commentary, folks. I don't know if you'd know what was going on without these translations.
Well, that center guard's not in play. It's the one top 4 she's got to get around.
Right.
But again, if a really good shot, like if she gets close to that with the right weight, it'll get basically fully buried. And Carrie, I think, will have to guard and give her 2.
And I think there might be an in-turn draw on the opposite side for 3 still, too, with where those are positioned. It's got to go sideways again at the end, but there's a piece of the button there.
None of those yellows are full 4, are they?
No. The top one may be full 4s, but nothing's touching the button, and I think there is a little piece you can get to on that side. But this one comes first. Stefania Constantini trying to get second shot. Sit 2 with Hammer here in the 7th end.
At the 22 Olympics, she made every one of these she looked at, so.
Undefeated run to the Olympic gold medal. This is real close here. Perfect line. Oh, that's so good. Great shot from Stefania.
Good shot. Can Carrie see enough to just rip one of those out of there and leave her the same draw for 2?
I don't know if she can see any behind the guard.
Yeah, I agree.
So we could probably.
So the center guard didn't matter for the draw, but it definitely matters for the hit.
Yeah, right there.
She's got some of it.
Yeah, you don't have to throw a bomb to lose one as well.
Time.
Coach Rama time.
And Brent, that second point would be a lot more difficult now,
if
too, if they do make contact and lose that back stone. We're listening to Carrie. And Coach Rama.
Yeah, like a bumper
Reed Carruthers.
of some sort.
And they have an arrangement agreement with Reed that he comes in and tells them exactly what to do. And that's how they like it. And
Like
it
do we
works
just
well.
hit this, give her 2, or try and draw one in
He
here?
is high-stepping in there.
That's as fast as I've ever seen
Well,
him
we're
move,
in
I
between
think.
2 shots. Like, I thought, like, play the same shot I just played, draw here, or we could just, like, whack it and give him 2. Okay.
Ooh, that's the only way to give up 3.
All of our downright shots have not. Like, I think you need almost hack or solid to move this.
Yeah.
And then you're rolling off anyway, so is it easier to just throw more?
It curls hard.
Yeah.
That's a really tough shot, and they're right. They haven't made any of those.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You like that?
I like that.
And we talk
I don't mind
about
it. Like
not
playing
talking
like
about the miss, but it's a lot
thinking
different
like
when it's
11,
consistently gone that
7-ish.
way the entire game. You want to play to something you feel like you're going to make.
Have enough. Yep.
Or are you thinking less than that, Reed?
So Reed's thinking stay on it, and Val keeps thinking, well, we got to kill the back
I don't
one.
think we can get second on the freeze anyway, so then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the freeze really, I don't think you get it. You got to move it.
Like with like a 12.
We like Tyler. My gut is to just kind of give them the draw for 2. Just hit that thing.
And it's not an easy draw either. They're talking about giving them 2, but it's not. It's giving them a chance for 2. It's not a gimme. So I agree. I think you're trying to kill that stone, or at least with enough weight to move it out of count. Let them throw the draw for 2.
This could easily wreck on the yellow one.
And I think they have a little piece from the hack, too, so you could play that with board probably
For
pretty
sure
safely.
you can. You got to be able to see at least 3 inches of that thing.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I would be playing the safe side. And again, when you hear your players saying, we haven't made
very
that
good at
shot
this.
all day, you don't really want to push them towards it.
But this is the best result.
It
If she
is.
can get by that yellow real tight, she might even be able to get shot rock almost. With backline weight, I think is what they kind of decided on. Hack weight.
Yeah, they called 12, I believe, before they threw it. So looking for hack weight. Takes a turn there. Should still be by right now. Oh, hairs it. Yeah, just on off, and got to make sure you're by first. But and that actually made the draw for 3 easier, moving that rock a little bit too. So now you have a little more space, and they only need full 4.
So close to perfect. That gets by there, and they're probably going to steal or definitely force to 1.
Yeah, with that weight, I don't think they were getting a nose, but yeah, you're never giving up more than 2 if you're by.
That was a really difficult shot. With everything we've seen in this game, I think you got a really good chance at getting 2 coming home.
Well, I don't know, Brent. Every game we've ever called together in history has gone to an extra end, so I'm just assuming that at this point.
So, a super important shot, a huge opportunity here. Shot she just made, but still, it's a draw to the button.
A huge point here for Team Constantini if they can get this 3rd point.
She can run into the red a little bit, but can't move that back one very far.
Final shot, 7th end. Out-turn draw to the 4-foot. Stefania Constantini.
Carving it early.
Her to back 8 tall.
This is one of these questionable sweeping techniques.
Trying to get it to turn. Weight looks pretty good. Needs to sit now. Well done. That is 3 for Team Italy, Stefania Constantini. Now take a 6-4 lead going to the 8th end over Carrie Einarson. Big score of 3 for Stefania Constantini in the 7th end. Now leading Carrie Einarson 6-4. Tyler George with Brent Lang. And Brent, we questioned the strategy in the 6th, playing for the straight blank, and
she taught us a lesson again.
Here we are. Hit the 3.
I'd be interested to know if that has anything to do with it, because there is validity to the idea that, in the 7th end, nobody wants to be 1 down without coming home or tied without, so they take more chances. And there are more 3s in the 7th than I would say there are in the 6th. I'm not sure that's exactly what happened, but here we are where, the strategy that I specifically disagreed with was now they're up 2 coming home right where they want to be. But this is far from over. If I've learned anything in my long Grand Slam of curling commentating career of about 5 hours.
Champion. 16 times.
But today, anything seems to be possible. First day of an event, there are more misses than normal. And we've seen that, but I think very good chance for Carrie to get 2 and tie this up. I wouldn't rule out a 3 to win the game.
Corner guard in play. Perfectly placed, and with the depth of that one, Brent, I assume they're playing to stack 2 on that side. We discussed this earlier in the day too, with the philosophy of throwing 2 to one side or opposite sides. What did your team prefer?
You know what? The 2 on one side, as much as theoretically it makes more sense, it almost never worked on teams that I was on, and I know that comes to execution. But I still prefer both sides, and then you've just got options. If you have both on one side and they happen to choke that side off, now it's like, well, I sure wish we had one on the other side now. So I don't know what the numbers say, but that's my feeling.
Yeah, the one thing with playing the opposite sides, too, is when you play 2 on one side, you draw underneath it. Even if they just peel one out, you draw underneath it again. They're still on the same side. So no matter what.
You're grouping, right?
Yeah, you're grouping no matter what, which can be a good thing if it's under 2 guards. But
and the men's game especially, how good the seconds and thirds are at the runbacks now. Like, it's not like, are they going to make contact? It's like you have to hope for them to nut it. So if there's 2 there, they're probably going to get one of them out, and then the 3's gone anyway. So, but, I mean, the moral of the story is don't need 3 coming home, but if you do,
right.
I like this setup. They're always going to have a chance here. There's going to be action the whole end, especially with those reds kind of cued in the middle. It's as Italy here. If you get those lined up and can guard it, they've got to spend some time in the middle. Now they don't have much time before they can get shot rock.
As Brent and I and John Cullen will be with you all season long for 5 slams, we're going to call the action for this game and then analyze where we place our stones, where we personally prefer it for the next 6 months.
And we will not waver ever.
No, we're men of principle.
Ok, Angie. Ok. Non è male, così.
Okay.
We'll have evidence of what we said this month, and if it's the same thing when we get to the
What do you
players
like?
in April.
You like Val?
Probably want to like hit and roll of
Yeah,
some sort.
I think Val's on the right track here. You threw the 2 center corners because you want to use them, so you got to kind of clear up the center.
Yeah, this is one of those we can accomplish 2 things with 1 shot. Play soft enough, you're sticking around no matter what. Move the top stone. And possibly even chip it underneath the other corner so you can get 3 things accomplished with 1.
Even if you just nosed this and made the double, they're going to have to probably hit it. They might play a peel on the guard, but that's okay too.
Yeah, they are playing a little more weight than I thought they'd play. Definitely playing to kill that stone instead of chipping it over.
Whoa. Hard, Kristen. Go. Good. 3.
Not kind of the in-between.
I
I
was going to roll more than that.
think they would have been better off to make the double. Just maybe an easier shot and maybe a better result, but now they can hit and roll back to the middle, and now you do have a lot of work to do in the middle.
Yeah, that was one of those we could do a lot of good with this shot, but only really accomplished 1 thing. And now you're letting your opponent just eliminate 1 stone. And
they're not very
shorten the
stressed. They're giggling all the way down the ice, so they liked it.
That was kind of your calling card too, you know, giggling. While you're
well, it's supposed to be fun out there, and I mean, the stress isn't on me. I played second, so you know, Wayne and Glenn, or Rich and Glenn, or Mark and Kevin would bail me out anyway. It was kind of, I was just good at convincing better players to play with me.
Yeah, well, it's fun too, making them play those tougher shots.
Right?
That's why we're giggling.
And
oh, look at what you got to deal with now.
Just fed their egos.
How do you
when I
like
set
that
them
one?
Up like that, you can't make run triples if I don't miss a couple.
You're never getting on the highlight reel without me thrown in front of you.
Saville did that for me all the time. Like all those runbacks I made, those are not possible without him missing.
That's team MVP.
That's an interesting shot. That yellow's tough to remove.
That's a very good spot to leave that rock.
I thought we would run a bit, but that's a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
You can see Stefania trying to figure out. Yeah, the thin way. Okay. Got to be precise here. The jam could roll behind that corner. You don't want to do that for them.
Yeah, there's a couple really bad spots you can hit this. And the worst ones are really close to the best ones.
Probably going to kill you. If you make it, you might kill your top one. Second shot there.
It
sounds
to get
like
it
they
over
like
the top.
it. Yeah, that's a good shot. It was kind of inevitable if you're going to make it, but
Potevo prenderla un po' più piena.
okay, you need to get one buried here if you're Team Einarson, anywhere that they can't hit it.
Going under the higher guard first, staying away from the counter in the rings.
Ben giocata, Ele.
Ok, buona.
So when you want to overbury a little bit, if you're Val, playing this in-turn draw.
Line's good. Okay, clean.
For the sweepers, it's just sweeping it to wherever it's buried. The depth of the stone really doesn't matter near as much here.
Go ahead, Kristen. Kristen, go. Yes. Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going. Further, further, further. Go, 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 go.
Nice shot.
Sounds chaseable, the way they were kind of. Yeah.
Passi a filo, rischi quasi di fare questo, c'è un sacco di spazio. Staffa.
You can't chase it on the wide side. That's crazy talk. This one, if you chase it, kill it, and stay in the 8-foot, those corner guards almost become useless. So a big, big shot here. This will go a long way in getting Team Italia the victory here. But like I said, most of these shots today we've seen underthrown and over curl. Those have been to the wing. Or sorry, to the center. This one's to the wing.
Getting tight to the guard here too. Ooh. Great sweep to get by. Stays in the 8-foot, so that scoring surface, as you mentioned, Brent, getting smaller.
So no doubles.
Or you freeze it.
That'll get your third shot.
Down to 3 stones left. Good time to talk here for Einarson.
That was a big shot. You can see the problem if you're Einarson now.
It's hard to hide behind this one, I think, even if I do make it
Yeah,
perfect.
because it's curling so hard. It's either that or you make this long roll, and then maybe I could do something with this corner.
Yeah, like if we're playing a hit and roll, this one almost looks better, but we gotta still make it.
Just, yeah.
It's definitely time to make something perfect. Down 2 in the last end.
With rolling behind the corners here, you're going to have to kill both stones to make this shooter count no matter what. So the hit and roll is probably the correct shot either way. You can make either one. Doesn't matter. It looks like the higher one is probably a little easier.
That's pretty good.
I think so.
Think here.
So playing the hit and long roll behind shot rock.
Yeah, it's a little frosty through here, so yeah.
The longer rolls are always harder. She can roll behind both though. Like
But she's playing long all the way across. Huh?
She is, I think.
That's the toughest shot of the bunch that we've talked about by far.
Hopefully at least there's a double.
Okay. And what kind of weight, sorry? 10.5, I think. Okay.
Okay. Well, if she can roll way back 12 behind the yellow, it's a good result.
Yeah, you're probably thinking about running your own stone back into it, but then it does. That's the only way you bring 3 into play probably right now.
Anything else is not game over, but it's getting close.
Gotta go.
That's way too thin and rolls off. So now 2 just got a lot more difficult as well.
Drawing here, I mean, it's late to be peeling. Skips first. They got 2 guards, but you can chase around the high one. I would draw.
Sorry, a little fold.
Yeah.
I take the draw path away on the short side, throw it biting top 8 on that line.
I think, yeah, I don't love that. That's double and roll. I think I would draw, as we're looking at it here, to the left side, side forfeit. Somewhere where if they make the hit and roll, I have a draw over towards that till I2. Somewhere where you're inside the corner guards, like anything behind the corner guards is not going to outcount my shooter that I'm throwing right now.
I don't like throwing any draws inside of that red stone above the tee line.
I think where Stefania's broom is right, if you could walk it down and put it right there, that sure would be good. No doubles, just to make a perfect hit and roll, and then you get a chance, if she does, to make another good draw on the other side and win the game.
Yeah, you just don't want to throw it in a spot where they could freeze to either one. No, it lines up to jamming on the second stone.
Yeah, absolutely.
14,5, sì.
Allora, siamo su una parte che io dove non vedo Adriana Frank e slide in
So you can actually throw it to half in the 4-foot, top 8-foot on the opposite side of the center line.
That'd be good.
Then you're forcing them to either dead nose freeze or roll underneath the one you just threw, and you got a 2-foot run for the win.
Yep. I think anywhere full 8-foot here, even if it did slide behind the tee line, I mean, even if they freeze, you can follow, but
Yeah, if it goes behind the tee, then you want to make sure there's it's
room for
deep.
two.
Yeah.
Room for two.
Yeah.
Got one other game still going on here. Team Law is up 3. Oh, with the hammer coming home. Delay a game. Most people shake in that situation, but Team Kim playing it out. Looking for a little miracle.
Getting some reps in.
Caitlin's getting close to welcoming her second baby, and Stefan. So maybe they're hoping she'll get tired. I know Caitlin, though, and that won't happen.
I don't think I've ever seen her tired at any point.
I think her nickname was like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
So
she did wear bunny ears to the Curl for Kids back in the day when she played in it. So there you go.
It's another precise draw. Stefani's come up with lots. 2 of them last end. Speed here should be similar to that, I would think, by this point in the game.
Out turn draw to the side of the 4-foot, looking for even up.
Just liked it, but a little light, they thought. Never left it yet. Looks pretty good. It's running the line like it's not super light.
The farther it goes on this line, the better right now.
It is perfect. Well judged.
Great sweep.
No double.
I don't know
That's
that
really
there's...
where she tapped her broom, I think.
Yeah, you got to freeze just perfectly to
If we go this one, then
be shot.
what do we want to make?
We're trying to figure out which one plays more into a jam on the other one and where exactly do we need to freeze it to do that. Because if it's even half a rock frozen, 2/3 frozen, it's still flying underneath
That's fine.
probably. So maybe 3/4 frozen on this stone.
I guess if you're going to make a perfect shot, I think I'd play the hit and roll. So if you make this perfect, I guess you can get shot, right? Yeah, this is fine, but like it bounced an inch. It's useless.
It's gone.
Which I got a 14.6 on that, so it seemed like.
Reed's thinking it's easier to follow
so
that one.
Like there.
Yeah, the only other option would be to hit and roll under the corner on this short side and hope for a miss.
Hope she's a little heavy or a little light on her draw and leaves you a double, or misses the 8-foot and leaves you an open hit. We always used to hope, you know, and like you said earlier, Muzzy saying, "Oh, come on, Mark, miss this one." And Craig and I always used to go through our checklist. First, you hope they fall, then you hope for a hog line violation, maybe a pick, and then after that, it's just a straight up miss. Maybe they burn it. There's a lot of ways.
There are
things
ways
to go our way.
We should note for the broadcast that Matt Hamilton said that under his breath to himself when he didn't know the mic was still
With a
live.
mic.
Yeah, not right in Mark's face before he threw the rock.
I think that was, I don't know where that mic was. Benny didn't think he was Mike, so that's why he was so loose today. Normally he's really just a upstanding citizen, doesn't swear at all, but today he didn't know he was Mike. Must be hot mics on the sheet.
Yeah, to be surprised like that.
Back tee. We're tapping. Yeah. We're there.
Not sounding very good if you're an Einarson fan right now.
Back 4, back 8. Curl it, curl it, curl it.
Back 4, back 8, the calls.
It
Trying to.
needs to be shot because there's no double, so they don't really have to shoot.
Yeah, I think they can. Well, and is there enough action running the corner in to get it to go sideways to make that?
I don't think so.
Looking
but
for any possibilities for it?
I don't think so. If
Someone get Kevin Cooey on the horn for that one, maybe.
I mean, that one's a little bit higher, so just guard it, I guess. I mean, there's no shot here right now, I don't think.
And
The spinner.
Throw it hard with a spinner and try to get the kick sideways, but
Oh, kick some guards out of the way.
there you go.
That's not going to matter.
Sorry.
That's close.
Ok.
Also irrelevant.
That's the one that you got to run in.
Quella per 15. Esatto.
I think Carrie and team are going to need them to run out of time here.
Gestiamola un po'.
They got 2 minutes to throw a guard, though, so
Un 6, ok?
Sì.
Ok.
Ok, è solo una scopa in più e andiamo a freeze.
Guarding the one that is a hair higher.
just any piece of the inside of it, right? I mean, just guard more than half of the rock. Like they have to hit 3/4, 7/8 even. I think you could give them a large bucket of balls and they would never make that double. So not a lot of pressure here. Just can't go into the rings here like top 12 or top 8 and leave them a triple.
Right, yeah, there is a spot you could leave it, possibly.
Can't be in the rings.
Could set up a triple, but it would have to be top 8 close to that stone. If you're short of the house and covering the inside of the rock, that's good.
Looks like they're coming in the rings here.
Let's see where they decide to sweep it to.
Follow it down.
Coming all the way back to that stone.
Yeah, which is fine. That's a good shot.
That should do it.
Great shot. Handshake.
That'll do it. So a big win in this opening matchup for Team Constantini. Back and forth battle. They take the victory over Team Einarson. They will move on in the A event bracket. Einarson will drop down to the B in this triple elimination tournament. But Brent, we saw it up and down, back and forth. That graph we were talking about would have been another fun one. But a couple of interesting games for you and I in our debut together.
Lots of back and forth. You know, more misses than we're used to probably, but lots of great shots and a great start to the HearingLife Tour Challenge. Looking forward to the next draw tonight. I think John Cullen's back in the booth.
Yes, it will be Brent Lang and John Cullen. Yours truly will be taking a seat for the evening draw tonight, which will be at 6:30 p.m. for the feature draw. For Tyler George and Brent Lang signing off, they will see you later tonight.